Everybody's super excited about the Chrono Odyssey beta. But there's one question we have not been able to answer. How will the endgame actually work? And of course, will they actually keep their promise about the game not being pay to win? Well, today they actually shared a little bit of the enhancement system in this little short, and even though it's not a lot, it might actually give us a good amount of information on what this looks like. So subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and let's get into it. In the Canon interview, the Chrono Studio said that the enhancement of gear will always be 100% success rate. You're never gonna get what you get in something like Black Desert, where if you do it, maybe you lose your materials because you didn't succeed. And this is exactly what this clip shows. But at the same time, there's one particular thing here that is very, very interesting. You can see this +2, +3, and it says enhancement effect, no enhancement effect. But when they go to +4, it changes. It says enhancement effect, level 5, general characteristics. Applies a random common attribute to the selected equipment. So even though there's a 100% success rate of enhancing, it looks like you can get lucky and get particular traits in your gear. I was also watching the Odyssey Gathering and Crafting Systems revealed video, and in the video it shows that you can actually transfer certain particular traits from one item to the other. So if you get very lucky and get a trait in one particular piece of gear, but you don't really need this gear, you can transfer that into another one, which seems like a good system in order to incentivize people actually gearing up, crafting more, and creating the perfect set of gear. That is, of course, assuming that it doesn't work like something in Throne of Liberty, which kind of has a very similar system where you have traits in your weapon, and yeah, you can upgrade it and it can fail. But if you get a piece of gear that is very good, you can transfer it into another one to get that trait that you had in one particular item. It's very hard to tell on how it actually will end up working, and it does worry me a little bit just because I'm, a person that is very reserved in terms of putting hope in a particular studio, especially one we don't know that much about. And it could definitely work in a good manner, but it could also be used in order to have a lot of convenience that can be bought in certain ways or make the game very grindy. It's all about balance. Do we have enough reasons to actually come in here and do content over and over again to get the perfect gear? Or do we have a system that is so grinding, so impossible to get to the perfect traits that it ends up making it super annoying to actually play and make people want to RMT inside of the game or even buy it out straight from the shop? Inside of the crafting system, we also see this, where there are low chances. For example, crafting this little sickle that you see here to gather, it has a very low chance upon acquiring of getting a jewel socket. Jewel sockets is something that many games have, but at the same time, are they going to be very important for you to actually get the perfect item? Not only in terms of gathering items, but also in terms of your actual armor. You can see here in this picture that they're making a belt of strength tier 2 and has a very high chance upon acquiring of getting a special attribute. But I'm guessing that the harder items to make will get also chances of getting sockets or different attributes. And even though we don't seem to have evidence that it will be a low chance in certain situations, well, if there's a high chance, there might actually be a lower chance. And this doesn't have to be bad. Many games have low chances and high chances when crafting gear to have a little bit more flavor in the terms of the endgame. You don't always get the perfect thing. But I think it's also very important to voice that, hey, we don't want a system that is heavily reliant on this. It should have some RNG. It should have certain chances of getting better things, and it should be part of the endgame, but it cannot be something you can just skip by buying a special potion that gets you more lucky in the shop. I know they said that they would not be pay to win, but pay to win to Korea is different than the West, and they could definitely be kind of twisting the truth or not even know that they're lying by saying it's not pay to win, but there's gonna be ways of making the game go way faster. So I think it's very important for us to not freak out, but at the same time show that this is not the type of gameplay we want. If we see something that shows us in the beta that this is the way that the game is going, it's going to be very important for us to push back against it before it's too late. A game where you craft your armor and you get armor from drops, and sometimes you get the perfect set of traits, and then you use this ones to create your perfect armor by combining it together is something that completely could work and could be very, very fun and give you a good amount of liberty and incentive to play the game over and over again just for a little bit of an upgrade while also being relevant in the rest of the game. But it could also be used in a very, very malicious manner to make you grind or skip to stop the grind and be more powerful than everyone else. And I know what you're gonna say. We don't know how the game is working. We don't know how it's gonna actually work. Why are you even jumping the gun? I think it's very important to accept that they said that the game is not going to be pay to win, but at the same time not stop demanding for that. Just because they said it doesn't mean that they're going to do it, and we need to keep establishing our boundary of we don't want pay to win. So I think it is important to make videos like this just to remind you, hey, they did say this, but if we see something that shows us otherwise, we must push back against it. We don't want a game that could have been great to die just because they didn't listen to us. So think about this, make your own mind, and talk about this in a reasonable, logical manner, and pay attention on how the beta actually works. So if we have to push back against certain systems, we do before it's too late. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I don't have my camera right now, so I'm not gonna be able to shill for my own Twitch, but you should definitely go in there and you should support me if you want. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye bye.